I want to bring in Lieutenant Colonel Allen West, former Texas gubernatorial candidate and former Florida congressman. Lieutenant Colonel, thank you so much. You're also a Texas resident. You used to run the Republican Party for Texas. What is your word of comfort and healing for the community here in Uvalde?
Well, without a doubt, pleasure to be with you, Lawrence. And this is a sad day. And when I was notified of what happened, immediately I thought about my one-year-old grandson who just turned 1 last week. And you think, as you say, as a parent, as a grandparent, this is one of the worst things that can happen for you as a parent or grandparent. And it's so important that we come together and we support this community. I've been down to Uvalde on several occasions. I know the mayor down there in Uvalde. Is a very small, tight-knit community. And as you just said, evil came into that community. But one of the things that I think we have to start asking ourselves is that, why do you see sporting venues or entertainment venues or a place like the Academy Awards? They're more secure than our schools. We have got to do better at protecting those that are most vulnerable in our society and in our communities, and that's at our schools. And so I would hope that we start looking at ways that we can better secure our schools. And as a 22-year veteran of the United States Army, let's get out there and look for veterans who will be more than happy and honored to provide safety and security for the least of those amongst us, which is our children.
Yeah. Lieutenant Colonel, you know, the obvious thing is evil will always be there. Evil came to Texas yesterday, but it will always be there. So what can we do to protect our precious loved ones? You know, when I see these pictures of these young people that died, I have a godbaby that age.
Yes.
I can only see her face.
Well, first and foremost, last night when I was going through and reading all the reports about this, there are always indicators and warnings, it seems, with these tragedies. We go back to what just happened in Buffalo. The individual there was posting on social media. He had been picked up and had a mental evaluation, but he was never followed up on. There was no, he was released. And the exact same thing here with this evil person down in Uvalde. There were social media posts. And I find it unconscionable that you can get kicked off of social media by talking about COVID or talking about vaccines, but yet here you have someone that was making some very questionable posts and violent-oriented posts, and nobody reported that. So I think that we've got to do a better job of looking out for these individuals, looking for these indicators and warnings. And it seems that there's also a mental illness component to this shooter, and that's something else that we need to be focusing on as well, just the same as in Buffalo.
That's the perfect segue, Lieutenant Colonel. I've been speaking with my sources all day, and I can confirm that under DPS, the Texas Rangers will be leading this investigation. Of course, they will have the support of the FBI and the local municipalities. How much confidence do you have in the Texas Department of Public Safety, Texas Rangers specifically, the premier law enforcement agency in Texas, that they will get answers for this community?
Well, I have the utmost confidence that they will do that, because this is a tragedy that should never have happened. And if you go back and remember the church shooting in Sutherland Springs, this was an individual that should have never been able to acquire a firearm because he had gotten a dishonorable discharge from the United States Air Force because of a domestic violence case. He was a felon, but yet the Air Force never reported that, and so therefore he was not in the system. So I think we need to start checking the systems that we have out there and making sure that we are reporting individuals, just the same as Nicholas Cruz back there in Parkland. There were 21 call-outs to his home, but yet nothing was ever done. So we need to have those proactive assessments that are out there. And I'm not talking about this, red flag or things of this nature, but we need to have people within the community that are saying, here's a troubled young person, and we need to make sure that we're doing what is necessary to get them to help, but also to protect those that are vulnerable in our communities.
Yeah, so true. Lieutenant Colonel Allen West, thank you so much for joining the program today.
It's my pleasure. My heart goes out. My heart goes out for these families as a father and a grandfather.